Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode, Daily Dose Podcast. Today we have on MP Sudds. She is a member of parliament. It is an amazing video and I'm so excited to have her on. And I look forward to having you guys in the video. We are sponsored by Naked Actives, our very reliable sponsorship with amazing products that are worldwide, international, in the US, Canada, everywhere. And one product I'm going to focus on today is the EGF collagen serum. It has vitamin C in it, it has sea kelp, it has green tea, it has all these natural ingredients that you'll find, and it is a must buy for your skincare routine. Not only does it hydrate your skin, it makes it instantly absorbs in your skin to make it firmer, and so it's supple and it's nice and hydrated and keeps your skin healthy and looking younger. So you can go on there and check it out yourself. The link is in the description. They have many sold out lines that you're gonna have to look for. The anti-aging eye cream. That one is also another one, but the EGF, go check it out. Clinically proven, all these are clinically proven for results. The man who owns the company has used all of his own products for himself and radically changed his skin for the better. So go check them out. Amazing brand, and enjoy the video. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another episode of the Daily Dose Podcast. Today we have on MP Sudds. She is the Parliamentary Secretary for Women, Gender Equality, and Youth. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me, Ryan. Happy to be here.
I really appreciate you coming on and taking the time today. I'm very excited for this episode because not only do you support community and you also support equality of everyone around, I support that within my podcast as well. So to start off the first question, give us a little bit about yourself. What do you do for yourself, and give us a little brief description.
Sure. So originally born and raised in Niagara, actually. And spent the first 20-something years of my life there. But after my undergraduate degree at Brock University, I moved to Ottawa for work and subsequently decided to do my master's degree at Carleton in economics. And the rest is kind of history. I grew to love this city and have had the great fortune of a lot of different career experiences and a very twisty, turny journey that has been very rewarding. So I guess I'm now into, I want to say about 20 years of my career, and also the proud mom of 3 girls, and really just trying to ensure that I give back and be the best that I can for my family and my community.
Absolutely. Those are very strong points.
Mm-hmm.
So with all of your experience comes quite a lot of change. And I know that you have plenty of experience going from different fields of work. So what do you kind of do for yourself to level that change and to approach it with a clear head and get through it?
Mm-hmm. Well, I think that has evolved over time. To answer that now, I exercise a lot, I eat well, I try to get, as much sleep as I can. So I'm very grounded in making sure that I take care of myself. Because if I don't take care of myself, I can't serve others. But that's also been a journey. I think back to other points in my career, making sure that I surrounded myself with people who are supportive and who have encouraged me in some of those crazy career decisions has also been really, really important. Because of course, all these decisions that we make along the way, often they're hard, but they also impact those around us. So making sure that I've had the support of my family and friends has also really kept me grounded and kept me going.
Great. I completely agree with that. Team and family and having that support base is essential through all times. You always need somebody else. What does that kind of mean to you, the team and community? Because I know that's a very important thing that you focus on with being a part of government and everything that you stand for. What does
Yeah.
team and community mean to you?
It's everything, frankly. I consider myself fortunate in that I spent the first 12 years of my career working in the public service as an economist. And over those 12 years, I started to volunteer more in my community and took on some pretty interesting volunteer roles in areas that were like such stretch goals for me, things I'd never done before, but they were just such incredible experiences where I learned so much being out in my community and serving the community. And I consider myself fortunate that I had those experiences, that I did stretch and volunteer in different capacities, because it was through that I really was able to determine my passions and what I love doing. And that it genuinely is serving my community. So from those early days of getting involved and volunteering in different capacities, then it evolved to a role in which I started a business association that represents our business community, and was a really fun way to support that part of my community. And then it evolved to serving as city councillor and our deputy mayor, and now, of course, as a member of parliament. But I think, reflecting back, it's all about figuring out what you're passionate about and trying to build a life around that. And I think I've been very fortunate to have found that fairly early in my journey and have been able to continue to serve my community.
Yeah, that's great. And that ties into, I've talked to a few people actually on the podcast, and they were talking about some people may never know what they want to do, but finding those passions and interests is very important to guiding.
Absolutely.
So with you being in this position comes quite a bit of responsibility. What do you kind of do to keep yourself orderly and keep your scheduling all that responsibility for yourself?
Yeah. So you have to be very disciplined, of course, and you have to learn how to say no. And then I'd also add surrounding yourself with great people who share your passion and are willing to help support you in these roles. So I'm very fortunate. I have an amazing team that helps keep me organized, who really, I think, know me and know my priorities, so they can help in that regard. But for myself, I get a lot of invitations, a lot of requests to help with different things, to participate in different things. And I have to prioritize, because I am obviously the member of parliament and parliamentary secretary, but I'm also a mom. I'm also a wife, a daughter, a sister, a friend, and those things are also very, very important. And so, I'd like to think I'm getting better every day at saying no and prioritizing. There's one thing that we never get back, and that's time. It's truly our most valuable asset. And so making sure that I spend my time wisely, doing the right things that have impact.
That's a very good point. What would you attribute to, what would be things for you that you would say no to? Is it kind of along the lines of, for people that might be like, oh, well, I don't want to say no to an opportunity, but what are things that you keep kind of level-headed to stay?
Yeah, that's a great question. And it's funny, actually. I remember back in my days running the business association, I used to say, I'll never say no to anything. Somebody wants to meet with me, I'll meet with them. But at that point, I had the luxury of more time. And I don't regret that at all. And I think that when you have that capacity in your life, you need to take all those opportunities. Because those are really, those relationships, everything you learn on that, in those experiences is so valuable. For myself now, in the place where I am now in life, I'll often say to my team, this is a nice to do, not a have to do. And
Mm.
I kind of, I play with that when I'm looking at different things that come at me. And I have to, determine how many nice to dos I fit in to a week or a month, because it's just not possible to do all of the nice to dos and still be sane, frankly, and be a mom and everything else that I am. So, I pick my battles. I always like to contribute to good causes. But I do have to be realistic. At the end of the day, we're all human and we only can accomplish so much in a day.
Mm. Yeah, that's those are great points. And it relates to everyone has to have interests outside of work, and you have to
Mhm.
prioritize those for yourself as well.
Absolutely.
Is
Yeah.
there, I know that Ottawa is very outdoorsy. Is there anything that you like to do that kind of keeps your like head clear outdoors?
Yeah.
Your family?
Yeah, absolutely. And I love being outside. So I'm a runner, and Ottawa is a great city to run in. Lots of scenic places to catch a run. So that's a big part of my day. I also love hiking with my family. I love to be outside. We camp quite a bit in the summer. Anything I can do to get outside, I'll be there. Cross country ski in the winter. We're very fortunate here in Ottawa, and frankly across the country, really, to have so much nature and green space to enjoy. And that does help ground me. That does clear my head. It's a really important part.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. I would like to jump back to the part where you were an economist and being in the business world. What did that jump for you look like from going from that to being now like a part of government? Was it a big change, and what did you kind of do to help yourself through that?
Yeah, it was a big change. And I always say the scariest decisions are usually the best ones. My first big scary decision was when I decided to leave the public service.
Mm.
I had three very young children, and obviously, I had a great job. Public service offers a great pension, great benefits. And I walked away from that to take this role to start this brand new business association representing our technology park. And terrifying. However, undoubtedly the best decision for me. I learned so much over those 5 years. I did things every day that I'd never done before. I met so many incredible people. And so it's really a huge building block for me in my career. And then interestingly enough, and then I did another technology council for a while as well, and then came back to government, first as city council, now obviously MP. And the switch back is also very interesting because I feel like now I bring such a different breadth of experience to this role that I think makes me better at my job. It does undoubtedly mean that I am sometimes frustrated with the pace of government and the pace of the work that we are trying to do. It's never as fast as I would like it to be.
Oh.
And I think also I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and so to be an entrepreneur at heart and to spend my days in the House of Commons don't necessarily always jive.
Mm.
But I'd like to think that it means that I'm bringing a different perspective and a different set of skills to this job that I think hopefully will bring value for my community.
Absolutely. I mean, reading the things online and seeing what you do for Kanata, and it's beautiful. I mean, bringing all that the business to them and helping out the tech there is great. Giving back to the community is so important. One thing
Yeah.
that I wanted to jump back to was when you said you made the leap and you just took the risk.
Yeah.
What, for someone that is afraid to take a risk or says, why would I do that when I have the pension? A lot of people come up with choices like that, and they might say, I want to take the safe risk. What did you kind of do to help you get through that? Like, what made you know that you need to do this one thing?
Um, I'm I'm not sure that I did know, to be honest. It was a risk, hands down. And I remember at the time just telling myself that I needed to be confident enough that I could do this. And if I couldn't do it, there was something else I could find that I could do. It wouldn't be the end of the world.
Mm-hmm.
So it was terrifying. But as I said earlier, it has been so pivotal in my career. And that's why I really do think those scary decisions, as you're going through your journey, those undoubtedly for myself have paid off the most. I mean, I've also had, to be honest, like there's been a few instances along the way where I've strived for something really hard and I haven't gotten it in my career. And those were also terrifying, but I still learned so much, so I don't regret them. Right? So again, I think just having confidence in yourself, confidence in your abilities, to know that you'll be okay. And, to take a leap at things that you're passionate about, that you really want to try. And even if it doesn't work out, it was there for a reason. And you took that chance for a reason. And there's always something to learn from it.
Yeah, those are great. Those are great points, because success is not, you only fail when you stop, no matter what happens along the way. Success is working towards what you want.
Yeah. It's never linear.
Exactly.
Right? There's always some peaks and some valleys, and you got to be on for that ride.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I completely agree. For someone that is going through, let's say, university, or is coming out of university into a job, you don't necessarily always need all of the knowledge to be successful. Do you find that your passions kind of drove you to be well at what you do to get you to where you are?
Yeah, I mean, wholeheartedly, I have often taken on roles where I did not have the knowledge to succeed, but I was resourceful enough, passionate enough, to take on those challenges and learn as I go. Again, flipping back, well, all of these roles, even in this capacity now as a member of parliament, there's still so much I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
And coming into this role, you can't know what you don't know. Every job that I've gone into, the scary ones anyways, have felt like that. But again, if you are passionate about the work that you're doing, it doesn't feel like work. It's a passion. You strive to continue to succeed. You learn as you go. And I think, that's certainly, it's worked well for me. And I think it's a great path for others.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I've always been about following passions, because I know how important it is to feel that goodness inside, and it'll always pull you through no matter what situation. Did you ever have any moments where you came across something that was so new to you that you kind of had to face head on? And what did you use, team to get through that, or did you use people around you? What did you kind of do to get through those ups?
Yeah, I recall one of my earlier roles, I reported to a board of directors. And I remember I was about 6 months in, and I was really struggling in that everything was new and there were so many decisions to be made. And I was struggling to make decisions. And I remember sitting down with my board chair, and he said to me, "We don't expect perfection." And that was very pivotal for me. I think I was afraid to make the wrong decisions, so I wasn't making decisions. And those words have always stuck with me, and they were very impactful. Once him as my board chair, gave me permission to make mistakes, it was very it felt so much easier to continue forward, right? And to make all those decisions, big and small.
Yeah.
And that's something that I've always carried forward. And, now I do try to empower those around me. They're all smart people. We all have our strengths and weaknesses, and we're all going to learn from the successes and the failures. And usually when you make the wrong decision, it's not that big of a deal. We can all rebound from wrong decisions. So I think it's really important to just carry on and do the best you possibly can.
I agree with that completely. Something that has recently resonated with me is the ability and the importance of decision making. And I know in a role like the ones that you've been playing over the past 10, 15 years in your careers here, I know that decision making would be so pivotal. So
Yeah.
what do you kind of see for decision making when it comes to those big decisions? Like, what do you just make the first decision that comes to you, or do you just kind of go with what's right?
Um, that's a great question. And it's not always the same, right? Some decisions seem easier than others. And so I would say for some, they're easier. They feel innate. They just, you have that gut feel that this is the right thing to do. But of course, there are others that, I do take time to ponder. I'm fortunate to have some great people in my life who I can also often bounce ideas off of and give me good input as well, which is very helpful. But I would say for those decisions that feel more difficult, I'm not afraid to make a decision, and I will make it, but I will take a bit of time if I feel it's needed.
Absolutely. And that relates back to team and having people around you because again, the biggest things in life are done with other people.
Absolutely.
So I appreciate your time. And as we start to wrap up here, one last question. So for your younger self coming out of high school or university, or someone that's coming out themselves, would you give any advice or anything to that younger version that you know now that you didn't then?
Absolutely. And a lot of it I've already shared. I think what I wish that I knew when I was younger is that the scary decisions are usually the most important, the most impactful, that it's okay to make mistakes. We just pick ourselves back up and start over. And just to make sure that you surround yourself with good people. I think if you can have good people around you that center you and help support you in your journey, that you will be successful in whatever you do.
Well, those are great points to leave it off with. I appreciate you coming on, MP Sudds of Kanata, Carleton. Thank you very much for coming on, and I hope I'll see you in the next episode, everyone. Bye.